let's talk some Saints here. I have a kind of an ultimatum here of sorts. This is not an indictment on his career, but it is an ultimatum. I believe the next 2 weeks are now or never for Spencer Rattler as the prospective franchise quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Let me be very clear. I always thought it was a very, very long shot that a fifth-round draft selection in Spencer Rattler was going to be the 10-year face of the New Orleans Saints franchise. It's certainly possible. It happens. It's rare. But it was worth a shot. You can't get a franchise quarterback unless you go get one, right? You can't produce a franchise quarterback unless you draft them, sign them as a free agent, or trade for them. And so I thought it was a reasonable risk to take to go get Spencer Rattler. Talented guy, fifth-round pick. Let's see what happens. And to this point, you've got an 0-10 record over basically three head coaches if you count Darren Rizzi as the interim. And I'm not telling you that Spencer Rattler's time is done. I'm telling you the next 2 weeks, it's now or never. Let's go through some numbers with what Spencer Rattler has done this season. He is averaging 5.2 yards per attempt. The only quarterbacks with significant snaps under their belt this year that are worse than that 5.2 yards per attempt are Bryce Young, Joe Flacco, and Cam Ward, who are all in various classes but unproductive nonetheless. Rattler's averaging 7.8 yards per completion. That is very, 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 very low. Chris Olave, Brandon Cooks, Rashid Shaheed are combined averaging 8.3 yards per catch. That is almost unthinkably low. When you consider how explosive Shaheed has proven himself to be, when you think about Chris Olave being a first-round wide receiver, you think about what Brandon Cooks has been over his time in the NFL, though he has lost a step, to have them averaging 8 yards, not per air yards, that's per catch, 8.3 yards. That is way, way low. The Saints this year have only generated 4 20-plus yard passing plays. That is dead last in the National Football League. It's lowest among active full-time starters, obviously, and the Saints do not have, to their name, a 40-yard passing play this season. They don't have one in a month. So what you're seeing from all this data is it's a dink and duck offense. It's training wheels. It's keeping everything vanilla. It's trying not to turn the ball over. Don't try to do too much. That's all you're really getting from Spencer Rattler. And the result of that is just not a lot of production in terms of points. Only 6 teams in the NFL have scored fewer touchdowns than the Saints. Only 5 teams in the NFL have fewer passing yards than the New Orleans Saints. So you have kept the training wheels on this guy for 10 professional starts, 4 under this regime, right? They got to come off the next 2 weeks. They have to come off now. You got to see what you've got, and if it continues to be a dink and dunk fest where you don't score touchdowns, you don't gain yards, you don't win any games, then it's time to move on. Spencer Rattler is 25 years old and played a ton of college football. You know these guys that break out late in their college careers like a one-year starter and then jump in to the NFL? Like those guys, they need to play a little bit more. Spencer Rattler started at Oklahoma and then started for half a year at Oklahoma and then started for 2 years at South Carolina. And now he's been in the NFL for a year and a half and he started 10 games. He's 25 years old. For perspective, J.J. McCarthy's 22, Cam Ward's 23, Jackson Dart's 22, Jaden Daniels is 24, Caleb Williams is 23, Drake May is 23. Rattler's older than all these guys. The training wheels have to come off, and you got to see what you do. The ball's got to go down the field. We got to try to start making some big boy throws. Can't just flip everything out into the flat to Kamara. Can't just flip it out into the flat to Rashid Shaheed. Can't check everything down. You got to try to do something, and these are the 2 weeks to do it. You're at home. Listen to the Giants' defense. This is the defense you're facing. They're 23rd in scoring, 25th in pass defense, 29th in run defense, 26th in third downs. This is one of the worst defenses in the National Football League. It's time to go. And you've got an offensive line that, yes, Ruiz is hurt, but like your offensive line's been fairly healthy, relatively speaking. You've got Cooks, you've got Shaheed, you got Olave, you got Kamara, you've got Kendre Miller. Tight end's banged up, but you do have Juwan Johnson. Like, you've got guys. You've got your coach. You're 25 years old. We're 10 starts in. We're a year and a half in. If you can't do it against the Giants and the freaking the Patriots over the next 2 weeks, I got to go to Shough. I have to. I can't sit here and dilly-dally any longer. Because, oh, by the way, speaking of age, like Tyler Shough's older than Spencer Rattler. So I realize that 3 of your next 4 after these 2 are on the road, but I gotta see something. Because there's no development that you're seeing in just flipping the ball out to the perimeter, checking it down, running the ball, punting, and then coming up with 5 touchdowns on the season. It's not enough. And again, I'm not here to tell you that the first 10 starts, which yes, he is 0-10, but I'm not going to hold that completely against him. You were a complete mess last year. In 2 of these games, I didn't expect you to win anyway. It's not Spencer Rattler's fault that special teams didn't even show up in Seattle. And they've been competitive in the other 3 games. So this is not a disaster. It's not a hopeless thing. But you got to set some guidelines here, and you got to see some progression. Or else you got to make a move because you took Tyler Shough in the second round and you got to see what you've got. And so this is not it's over. This is, okay, let's see it for 2 weeks. Prepare, get ready, put some stuff in the game plan that's a little bit more challenging and challenge him to get the ball down the field, to make some plays. You're not going to win in the NFL just dinking it around. You can if you're Trent Dilfer and you got the greatest defense anybody's ever seen with the Ravens. That's not the case here. And guess what? I mean, Rattler has a lot to lose here because this is his career you're thinking about and maybe his last chance to be a franchise quarterback if nobody else decides they're going to take a chance on him to be that. But as an organization with the Saints, like, if he goes out there and screws up, like, okay, he was 0-10 anyway. He was a 5th-round pick anyway. We got another guy anyway that we drafted in the second round anyway. So it's not like you took this guy first overall and you're saying if he doesn't swim the next 2 weeks, we've wasted the first pick in the draft. No, it's the opposite of that. You're actually going to give that guy an opportunity. This was a low-risk, high-ceiling play on Rattler. I would suggest to this point it has not borne any fruit. But at this point, I'm giving you 2 weeks to get it done. And if you do, and it looks a lot better, great. And if you don't, and it looks exactly the same or it gets worse when we try to dial it up in terms of degree of difficulty, Shough's time. He's 26 years old. Let's go. You're going to at some point need a shot of life in that locker room. And it either comes because you win a couple games because Rattler starts playing better and everybody kind of gets a breath of fresh air and you move forward, or it comes because you're 1-5 and you put in the new quarterback and give him an opportunity to make this thing work. I'm fully aware that Kellen Moore knows a lot more about 1, football, and 2, Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler and their handle on the offense and what their reps look like at practice than I do. But I was perfectly fine giving Rattler every opportunity to start this thing. We're a month in. It's one of the least productive units in the NFL with a fairly healthy offense. How much worse can it get? You can't get any worse than 0-4, I promise. So the point being, like, I think it's time to see what you got. And if it's not good enough, that's okay. It's time to move on. And so you're playing 2 of the worst teams in the NFL on your home field, friendly crowd, not a hostile environment. Let's crank up the degree of difficulty and see what you can do. And if it's not good enough, Shough's time. 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks for Spencer Rattler. That's what I think. So we'll see. I am excited to watch what happens on Sunday because while I don't have a huge degree of excitement watching them play the Seahawks or going to Buffalo, home game against a winnable team, I'm in for that. Let's see how it goes. Looking for Saints content? You can find ours, Hunt on Saints on YouTube, wherever you find your podcasts as well. And Ross Jackson's got you covered over there at LouisianaSports.net. Got some great stuff up there today. Always 3-4 stories every day on the Saints from Ross over at LouisianaSports.net. So appreciate him for making that happen over there. It's all free if you're looking for it. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button. Leave your comments in the section below. And hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.